Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Plus, check out exclusive show-related content and join the community at patreon.com/Animal Stories for Kids. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a ball python named Chisom. Chisom the ball python lived in the warm, sandy grasslands of West Africa. She was pregnant and was looking for the perfect place to lay her eggs. One evening, she was slithering through the tall, dry grass, looking for any abandoned burrow that was safe enough to lay her eggs. It was a very important mission for her. Chisom was looking for clues for the best burrow. "It has to be just right," she told herself. "It has to be warm, safe, and cozy for all my babies." The first burrow she found was hidden under a large, flat rock. "This looks promising," Chisom the ball python thought, curling her body to inspect the entrance. The burrow was dark and cool and seemed big enough for her. So she slithered inside and started to explore. But as she moved deeper into the burrow, Chisom felt a sudden wiggle beneath her smooth scales. She stopped and sniffed. "Oh no! Ants!" she hissed. Sure enough, a colony of ants had made their home in that burrow. And they weren't happy to see Chisom the ball python, and they began marching toward her in an organized line. They were tiny but fierce. "Oops, not staying here," Chisom said, backing out as fast as she could. "Ants are definitely not good roommates." Undeterred by the first burrow, Chisom the ball python continued her search. A little while later, she came across a second burrow. This one was tucked beneath the roots of a large baobab tree. It was quiet and the dirt was soft at the entrance, which felt good under her belly. "This could be it," she whispered to herself, feeling hopeful. She started to slither inside and began to turn in circles to make herself comfortable in the dirt. But as she moved around, she heard a faint sound. Then out from deep in the burrow, an aardvark came out, and it was upset. "What do you think you're doing in here?" asked the aardvark, glaring at Chisom the ball python. The aardvark was using the burrow for its home, and Chisom had slithered into the burrow not knowing it was already being used. "Oh, excuse me," Chisom the ball python said as she backed away, realizing she accidentally invaded the aardvark's home. "I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll just slither out now." Chisom sighed as she left and said to herself, "I can't lay my eggs where another animal is living in. That would be rude." So onward she went, determined to find the perfect spot to lay her eggs. As Chisom the ball python continued her search, she found a third burrow. This one was near a termite mound, and the entrance was wide and inviting. Chisom peeked inside. The air was warm, and the ground felt just right. "Finally," Chisom the ball python said to herself, starting to settle in. But then she noticed something strange. The air smelled funny. And then she finally figured it out. "Oh no! This burrow is too close to predators," she realized. The scent of a mongoose was faint, but unmistakable down there. There was definitely a mongoose living in that burrow. Ball pythons like Chisom are great at staying hidden in a burrow, but they know it's best not to risk staying near animals that might eat them or their eggs. "No way I'm staying here," Chisom the ball python said to herself firmly, backing out of the burrow. By now, the stars were beginning to twinkle in the sky. Chisom felt a bit discouraged, but she kept reminding herself, I'll find the right place. I just have to keep looking. And after looking for hours and hours in the night, finally, Chisom the ball python found a burrow at the edge of a grassy clearing. It was tucked into a hillside, away from predators, and the dirt smelled clean and safe. The entrance was just the right size, not too big and not too small. So she slithered inside and explored every corner. "This is it!" Chisom exclaimed. The burrow was warm, quiet, and private, perfect for laying her eggs. Chisom the ball python got to work right away. She coiled her body to prepare a smooth, comfy spot for her eggs. Female ball pythons can be great mothers, and Chisom knew exactly what to do. She carefully laid her eggs, one by one, until there were 6 beautiful eggs nestled together. Once her eggs were laid, Chisom the ball python coiled herself around them to keep them warm and safe. And she stayed like that for weeks, hardly moving, except to adjust her position. She didn't eat or wander away. Her eggs were too important. And then, after a few more weeks, Chisom felt a tiny movement beneath her. Could it be? She wondered, lifting her head to look. Sure enough, the first little egg began to wiggle, and soon a tiny crack appeared. Then, out popped the baby ball python snakelet, its scales shiny and new. "Oh, hello there, my child," Chisom the ball python said with a proud smile. One by one, her babies hatched, each one looking up at her with their curious eyes. Chisom's heart grew, and she was so happy. "You're all so perfect," she said softly, "and this burrow is the perfect place for you all to grow." Chisom watched her hatchlings explore their new home. She knew she had made the right choice in not giving up and looking for the perfect burrow. And she felt proud to have given her babies a safe start in their lives. And so, under the twinkling stars, by a hillside, at the edge of a grassy clearing, Chisom and her little family began their new adventure together in the perfect burrow. And the ball python lived happily ever after. The end. The ball python, or otherwise called the royal python, is a python species that is native to West and Central Africa. Their scientific name is Python regius. Ball pythons are small compared to other pythons, and they usually grow from 3 to 5 feet long. Ball pythons have dark brown or black bodies with light brown spots, helping them blend into their surroundings. Ball pythons love to live in warm places like grasslands and savannas. Ball pythons often use burrows made by other animals to stay safe and cool, and to lay their eggs. Ball pythons eat small animals like mice and birds. They catch food by grabbing it with their mouths and squeezing it. Ball pythons are known to roll into a ball when they're scared. They curl up tightly into a ball to protect themselves, and that's how they got their name. Ball pythons are mostly nocturnal, which means they're mostly active at night or during the early morning and evening when it's cooler and darker. Ball pythons got their other name royal pythons because legends say that rulers wore them as jewelry. Many people have ball pythons as pets because they're generally calm and docile and not too big. Ball pythons raised in captivity are often bred to have unique patterns and colors known as morphs, which don't naturally occur in the wild. breeders are always developing new morphs, and there are now over 7,500 different kinds. Some of the most popular morphs in the world are albino ball python, banana ball python, spider ball python, the pastel ball python, clown ball python, the Mojave ball python, the axanthic ball python, and the Enchi ball python. Ball python females are oviparous, which means they lay eggs and the baby grows inside the egg after it's been laid. After ball python eggs hatch, the baby ball pythons come out, and they're called snakelets. Ball pythons generally lay 1 to 12 eggs per clutch, and they take about 2 months to hatch. Have you seen a real ball python before? If you have, where did you see it? If you want to write to us, ask your parent to email us at animalstoriesforkids@gmail.com and tell us what you think of our stories. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Plus, check out exclusive show-related content and join the community at patreon.com/animalstoriesforkids. Until next time, bye!